On a day where a former first overall pick in Taylor Hall gets traded, we never thought we would see a trade like this. An absolute blockbuster of a deal. PK Subban traded to Nashville for Shea Weber. This is one of the biggest trades in NHL history, an absolute blockbuster. What is up, guys? Welcome to Trade Breakers, where we break down the trade in NHL 16 GM mode, see how it works, and we talk about the trade a little bit. So, first things first, holy shit, what a trade. PK Subban straight up for Shea Weber, no cap, no picks, no prospect, a one-for-one hockey trade, and I was caught off guard by this. I did not think, I mean, there was rumors of PK Subban being traded, or Shea Weber's kind of always been floating around there wherever free agency or the trade deadline comes, but everyone's kind of like, no, those players are way too big to be dealt, but it actually happened. A one-for-one superstar trade, PK Subban for Shea Weber. What a deal. Let's break this down in NHL 16 GM mode. So you can see here PK Subban and Shea Weber. Shea Weber has the maxed out trade value, and you can see here going from Montreal going to Nashville, they actually say no. Nashville wants nothing to do with PK Subban, which is actually a little bit surprising because PK Subban is the younger of the two. So Nashville, they say no. And now if we go to the other way and we send Shea Weber over to Montreal, obviously in exchange for PK Subban, you can see PK Subban's trade bar isn't quite what Shea Weber's is, but if you go reversed, you send Nashville over to Montreal, they are going to say yes for this trade. So honestly, I think in real life, it's a little bit reversed, in my opinion, but that's how it's like in NHL 16 GM mode. One side said yes, and the other said no. So let's talk about this trade. Holy crap. Shea Weber has that huge, ginormous contract for the next 11 years. He's going to be 41 years old by the time his contract expires. For me, that's terrifying. Shea Weber obviously is one of the best defensemen in NHL history, in my opinion. He's got to be up there. He's an absolute beast. 6'4", 236 pounds. He is a freak of nature. He's just a tank. He's going to always get you 15, 20 goals, 40 to 60 points. He's a tank. He's an absolute beast. He's the pinnacle of what a shutdown, scoring, two-way offensive, defensive defenseman. He's pretty much everything mixed into one. He is the ultimate defenseman. I love Shea Weber. I think he's awesome. He's terrifying. Knowing how he plays against the Canucks, it's not fun to play against Shea Weber at all. It's awful, honestly. He's a heavy hitter, and he's got that ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous slap shot. But he was a second-round pick in 2003, and all this time later in 2016, he is now a member of the Montreal Canadiens. I think people were more expecting PK Subban to be dealt, aside from Shea Weber. For us to see a one-for-one deal with these two players is pretty outstanding. Obviously, Shea Weber's contract is huge, and it's going to last for the next 11 years. Both these players are locked up to long-term deals, but I think the Shea Weber move is a bit more surprising. I think PK Subban, I've heard some rumblings and some stuff that people in the Montreal organization, they don't like how I guess big, how larger than life PK Subban is. He brings that presence where he just walks into a room and everyone's like, yeah, that's PK. He's the fucking man. And he's a little bit cocky. That's just the way PK is, you know? I think it's not a bad thing. I think it's a good thing, to be honest with you. But I heard some stuff, I heard some rumors, and take this with a grain of salt, but some players and management, they didn't like the kind of off-ice persona he brought to Montreal, which in my opinion, I love it. I love the way PK Subban handles himself. I think he's awesome, and he's obviously an incredible defenseman. You can look at his stats here. They're both actually second-round picks, which is kind of funny. Both selected in the 40th range. Obviously, PK Subban was selected 43rd, and then Shea Weber was selected 49th. So both second-round gems. I bet those teams did not think they were going to get a franchise defenseman when they drafted a defenseman in the second round. But real quick, I think that PK Subban is arguably the best defenseman in the NHL. He's definitely in the top 5. I think with the emergence of Roman Josi, it kind of made Shea Weber more expendable. This is a really weird trade because I don't really know how to read it. Again, with the rumblings of PK Subban being too cocky, or he kind of bringing that larger-than-life presence. Now, I don't know the whole story behind PK Subban, but to trade a 27-year-old defenseman in his prime, entering his prime, he's got 4 or 5 years left of prime hockey where he's going to get you 15, 20 goals, 40 to 60 points. He's that guy. And then you trade him for Shea Weber, who's 30 years old. Again, it doesn't sound like a huge difference, but it is. Shea Weber's probably got 2 or 3 years left, and then he's really going to start declining. And you're still paying Shea Weber the big bucks, where PK Subban is going to be in Nashville with Roman Josi and Ryan Ellis, and he's going to be killing it. He's going to be killing it for the next like 7 years. And then you got Shea Weber, you got 3 or 4 years left. So a lot of people are saying that Nashville won this trade, and I am going to have to agree with them. I think that as of right now, these defensemen are equally as talented, and they're larger than life presences. I mean, PK Subban has done so much for the city of Montreal. He donated like $10 million to Children's Hospital, and he's just a great dude. He's awesome to have around. He's charismatic when he brings off the ice and when he brings on the ice. Honestly, I love PK Subban, one of my favorite defensemen. I know Habs fans are not happy at all, and rightfully so. He's a fan favorite. It's very rare to find a player so talented and so outgoing and charismatic as PK Subban, so that's a huge loss for Montreal, but they also gain a larger than life presence, literally larger than life. This guy is a tank, Shea Weber. So as of winning this trade, I think as of right now, you got to give a tiny little edge to Nashville, because I do think PK Subban is an all-around better defenseman than Shea Weber. See, that just feels weird to say, because it's not really that true. It's like they're both so even in my opinion, but I have to give the nudge right now to Nashville, and in the end, I have to give it to Nashville, because in 5 years, when Shea Weber's 35 years old and you're still paying him a stupid amount of money, PK Subban is still going to be an elite defenseman in the NHL. And Shea Weber's contract runs out when he's 41 years old. That's a bit crazy. That's a bit ridiculous. He's going to be 41. That's getting into Yager territory. I don't know if we can see Shea Weber playing for another 11 years. Obviously, he's on that ridiculous contract because Philadelphia offer sheeted him a few years ago, and obviously Nashville had to match that. So honestly, there's so much I could go on forever about these two players and how the trade's going to affect each team, but I want to hear what you guys think in the comments. I know Montreal fans are not happy. He's obviously a fan favorite. You see more PK Subban jerseys than any at the Bell Center, so it's going to be a huge change to see PK Subban not in that red and white, but you are getting a hell of a defenseman in Shea Weber. He's an absolute beast, but in the end, I gotta give the nod to the Nashville Predators. They have a elite defenseman for the next 7 to 8 years. I think it's a good trade. It's shocking. It's an absolute blockbuster, one of the biggest blockbuster trades that the NHL has ever seen, but I have to go ahead and I have to give the nod to Nashville. Let me know what you guys think. 2 huge trades happened. What a fun day. I'm sure free agency is going to be just as fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.